Thank you for watching. Welcome to my studio and at-home gym. I'm going to hold a sign up like this during these episodes, this series where I'm reading the Quran. When this sign is up, it's my thoughts. That way those of you watching can be certain whether you're hearing the Quran or what I think about it. But the whole point of this video series is for us to learn what the Quran says, what it actually says. So there's going to be very little of me doing this and a lot of this sign being down and me reading what the Quran actually says. One thing I had to decide is which version of the Quran to read. There are a lot of different English translations. Since Islam is not a well-organized religion like Mormonism, there's not a really firm structure with an official leader that puts out the official Quran. I had more than one option. Whereas if you want to learn about Mormonism, you just get the official printing of the Book of Mormon. These are the two Qurans I'm going to read. I'm going to read two of them, just so we see more than one possible translation of the words. The blue one here was printed in Saudi Arabia by the King Fahd printing press. It's an official, well, it's one printed, translated by believing Muslims. The other one I'm reading is translated by a man who was born in Egypt and raised in Egypt, and so he's a native Arabic speaker, and he started looking into English translations of the Quran and was dissatisfied. There were too many errors he was finding, and so he translated it. I'm not sure how many helpers he had with the translation. The Noble Quran, the Generous Quran. There we go. In the title we get the first difference. Some people have translated it the Holy Quran, or they call it the Holy Quran. But the same word, one translator translated it as noble and the other translated as generous. Quick note on what to expect and the weaknesses in these two translations. The blue one transliterates too many words. Every proper noun should be transliterated. Of course, that means you pick the letters in the language you're translating it into that make the same sound that the word is in the other language, instead of writing what it means in the new language. I'm going to skip over most, if not all, of the transliterations. It shouldn't have been transliterated. They should have written an English word there. Sometimes when you translate, you might need to take several words to describe what's one word in one language. They should have done that instead of transliterating. The one by Usama Dakdak, it doesn't when it transliterates, it's transliterating a word that was not Arabic. When I get to those words, I'm going to read the transliteration and then the footnote that lets us know what it means and what language Usama Dakdak is saying that it came from. One last note, I'm going to read this in chronological order. Not the order that it is printed in the Quran. There's a couple reasons for this. One, I've already read it twice in the order that it is in the Quran. And I'm going through this a third time. I'm not torturing myself more than I need to. And the things that came later sometimes cancel out or abrogate what came earlier. So if I read it in this order, and I read something early on in the episodes that later is contradicted, then you know the later one is the more recent one. one last thought about this project. Maybe some of you have never read the Quran, and you don't know if it, but you've heard accusations against it, and you don't know. And you're watching this so you can find out. When you watch this video series, you will know what the Quran says about everything it says. Maybe you should pause right now and make a list of what you've heard that you're curious about, what weighs on your mind, what you found interesting or disturbing or wonderful that you want to double check if it's really there. And maybe you can put in the comments to this video what your questions are, what things you're wondering if are in the Quran that you have before I start actually reading it. Alright. We're starting off with Surah 96. Some of the surah, I'm going to call them surah and ayah because I'm not sure if I should call the surah a chapter or a book. The Bible is divided up into books and chapters and verses. The Quran is divided up into surah and ayah. There's a difference in how many divisions there are there, so I'm not sure whether I should call a surah a book or a chapter. There we go. Alright, sometimes I'm going to read all of the surah in one chapter, in one translation, and then read it all in the other. Sometimes I'm going to break it up. That's going to be purely based on how long of a surah it is. The very long ones I'm going to break up between the two ones. Okay. Surah Alaq, the clot. Surah 96. Read, in the name of your Lord who has created. He has created man from a clot. Read, and your Lord is the most generous, who has taught by the pen. He has taught man that which he knew not. Nay, verily, man does transgress, because he considers himself self-sufficient. Surely unto your Lord is the return. And he found you poor and made you rich. Therefore treat not the orphan with oppression, and repulse not the beggar, and proclaim the grace of your Lord. Read, in the name of your Lord, who created. He created the human from a clot. Read, and your Lord is the generous, who taught with the pen. He taught the human what he did not know. Certainly not. Surely the human is rebellious, that he sees himself as self-sufficient. Surely the return is to your Lord. Have you seen the one who forbids a servant when he prays? Have you seen that he was upon guidance, the guidance, or commands with piety? Have you seen if he denies and then turns away? Did he not know that Allah sees? Certainly not. If he does not stop, then we will take him by his forehead, a lying, sinful forehead. So he will call on his company. We will call the Zabani. Transliteration means guardians, non-Arabic word of probable Syriac origin. Certainly not. Do not obey him and worship and draw near. Okay. There we go. One quick thought. It talks about helping poor beggars and orphans there. That's a beautiful line. There are some things in the Quran that are very beautiful. I've never heard anyone who's worried about Muslims killing everyone who is against Islam, accuse the Quran of being pure 100% bloodshed, killing, murder, rape, evil, every single verse all the way through. There are definitely some beautiful verses like those verses. Okay. Surah Al-Kalam, or Noon. These letters are one of the miracles of the Quran, and none but Allah alone knows their meanings. By the pen and by what they write, you, by the grace of your Lord, are not mad. And verily, for you will be an endless reward. And verily, you are on an exalted character. You will see, and they will see. Which of you is afflicted with madness? Yeah. Let's read. Okay, switching to this translation. This is Surah, it's 68 in the order that they're organized in the Quran. N, let's see, by the pen and what they write, you by the grace of your Lord are not a demon possessed, and surely to you there will be an eternal wage, and surely you have great morals. So you will see and they will see which of you is the seditionist. Surely your Lord, He knows best who went astray from His way, and He knows best the guided. And I did it again, didn't I? I read an extra ayat in this one. 7. Verily, your Lord is the best knower of him who has gone astray from his path, and He is the best knower of those who are guided. Okay, and 8. So obey you not the deniers. They wish that you should compromise with them so they would compromise with you. And obey you not everyone, a slanderer going about with calumnies, hinderer of the good, transgressor, sinful, cruel, and moreover base-born. I'll start 13 again. 13. Cruel and moreover base-born, because he had wealth and children. When our verses are recited to him, he says, tales of the men of old. We shall brand him on the snout. Verily, we have tried them as we tried the people of the garden when they swore to pluck the fruits in the morning. Okay. 17 starts a story. That's a good natural break to switch back over. Maybe I'll read 17 again when I get there. Okay. And where was 8? I didn't read 8 yet in this translation. So do not obey the deniers. They desire that you anoint, so they will anoint. And do not obey every shameful oath giver, a despicable going about with slander, a forbidder of the good, a transgressor, sinful, violent, after that a bastard. If he was with money and sons, when our verses are recited to him, he said, the legends of the ancients. We will brand him on the nostrils. Okay. 17. Verily, we have tried them as we tried the people of the garden, when they swore to pluck the fruits of the garden in the morning, without saying, Inshna Allah. I'm going to transliterate that word. I'm going to transliterate Inshna Allah when I get to that one, because it's a common phrase. I guess Islam is so rooted in the Arabic language, or the Arabic language is so important to it, you're going to have to learn a few Arabic words to learn Islam. Okay, where was I? 19. Then there passed by on a visitation from your Lord at night, and burnt it while they were asleep. So the became black by the morning, like a pitch dark night. Then they called out to one another as soon as the morning broke, saying, Go to your tilth in the morning, if you would pluck the fruits. So they departed, conversing in secret, low tones. No shall enter upon you into it today. And they went in the morning with strong intention, thinking that they have power. But when they saw they said, Verily, we have gone astray. Nay, indeed, we are deprived of. The best among them said, Did I not tell you why say you not, Inshna Allah? They said, Glory be to our Lord. Verily, we have been. Then they turned one against another, blaming. They said, Woe unto us! Verily, we were. We hope that our Lord will give us in exchange a better than this. Truly, we turn to our Lord, wishing such is the punishment, but truly the punishment of the hereafter is greater, if they but knew. Verily, for the gardens of delight with their Lord. Shall we then treat the Muslims like what is the matter with you? How do you judge? I should switch over there. Okay. 30, I got up to 35. Seventeen. Surely we have tested them as we tested the companions of the garden, when they swore that they would cut its fruit in the morning, and they did not set aside a portion. Then a visitation from your Lord encircled them while they were asleep. So it became like a harvested field. So they called each other in the morning, Go early to your harvest, if you were binding. So they went, and they were whispering, that surely no poor will enter it to you today. And they went out at daybreak, and with this settled purpose. So when they saw it, they said, Surely we have gone astray, yet we are destitute. The one in the middle of them said, Have I not said to you, were it not that you had praised? They said, Praise be to our Lord, surely we were unjust. So they came to one another blaming. They said, Oh, woe to us! Surely we were rebellious. Perhaps our Lord will exchange a better one than it for us. Surely we desire our Lord. Likewise the torment and the torment of the hereafter is bigger, if they were knowing. Surely to the fearing with the Lord are the gardens of bliss. Shall we make the Muslim like the criminal? Alright, verse 35. "36. What is the matter with you? How judge you? Or have you a book wherein you learn, that you shall therein have all that you choose? Or have you oaths from us, reaching to the day of resurrection, that yours will be what you judge? Ask them which of them will stand, surety for that. Or have they partners? Let them bring their partners if they are truthful. Okay, 36. What is the matter with you? How do you judge? Or do you have a book in which you study? Surely you have in it what you choose. Or do you have an oath against us that reaches to the resurrection day? Surely you have whatever you judge. Ask them, which of them will vouch for that? Or do they have partners? So let them come with their partners if they were truthful. (42) Remember the day when the shin shall be laid bare, and they shall be called to prostrate themselves, but they shall not be able to do so. Their eyes will be cast down, and ignominy will cover them. They used to be called to prostrate themselves while they were healthy and good. They leave me alone with such as belie this Quran. We shall punish them gradually from directions they perceive not. Let's see. And I will grant them a respite. Verily, my plan is strong. Okay, 42. Let's get a couple more verses in. Let's see. Or is it that you ask them a wage so that they are heavily burdened with debt? Or that the is in their hands so that they can write it down. All right. 42. A day the shin will be made bare, and they will be called to worship, so they will not be able. Their eyes will be downcast, humiliation will seize them, and indeed, they were called to worship when they were safe. So leave me, and who denies this saying, we will gradually draw them from where they do not know, and I will wait on them, and surely my scheme is firm. Or do you ask a wage from them, so that they are burdened with debt? Or do they have the unseen, so they can write? (48) So wait with patience for the decision of your Lord, and be not like the companion of the fish, when he cried out while he was in deep sorrow. Had not a grace from his Lord reached him, he would indeed have been... Let's see, so he was cast off on the naked shore while he was to be blamed. Then his Lord chose him and made him of the righteous. And verily, those who disbelieve would almost make you slip with their eyes when they hear the reminder, and they say, verily, he is a madman. But it is nothing else than a reminder to all the... There we go. Here's a word that... Alamin is a word transliterated a lot. We're going to see this word a lot. Maybe when I get to this one, I'll read what's in the parentheses, because it's a short list in the parentheses. It's mankind and jinn. They should have just written mankind and jinn. Well, there's one Arabic word that covers both of them, but we don't have one word in English that covers both of them, because mankind is real and jinn is not. Well, Satan is called a jinn. Satan is a real thing. But there are some differences between the Mormon understanding of spirits and angels and humankind and the Islamic understanding, such that a jinn is different enough than what the Latter-day Saint understanding is for me to say there are no jinn. Or that's the way I see it, at least. Okay. 48. So be patient to the judgment of your Lord, and do not be like the companion of the whale, when he called out, and he was distressed. Were it not that a grace from his Lord reached him, he would be cast on the ground naked while he is blamed. So his Lord chose him, so he made him of the good. And those who became infidels would almost smite you with their eyes when they heard the reminder. And they say, surely he is a demon-possessed. And it is not but a reminder to the world. Okay. Thank you for watching. That's the end of episode 1 of me reading directly from the Quran, so you and I can find out and be certain about what it says.